Good afternoon or good evening, whichever comes first, I guess. Nice to see all of you. As I just mentioned, I got a nice view of Millis. I've been going round and round, and I guess I relied on my GPS too much. My name is Tom Ricardi, and I run a project called Mass Bird of Prey Rehab up in the western part of the state. And the project is to take in injured birds of prey, hawks, eagles, owls, falcons, and mend the injury, and of course release them back to the wild. Unfortunately, in today's environment, a lot of the birds that come in are so badly injured they can't be released. The birds I'll show you today have all been permanently injured. They cannot be released back to the wild. That's why they're here today. You know, it's interesting. You might have seen something on the radio and TV where a lot of the songbirds are being affected by some kind of, yeah, well, the hawks are doing the same thing. I'm getting hawks with their eyes bulging out. They're totally blind, and the vets can't figure out what's going on. And I'm not talking about one or two birds. I'm talking about several every month that come in totally blind. No one can figure out. Two bald eagles in January, both blind. So it's something that apparently we're doing to the environment. You know, the biggest problem facing wildlife today is loss of habitat. And I always thought there'd be some land in this country that would be safe from development. Too steep, too rocky, too wet. Not anymore. We can put solar panels anywhere. And boy, I'll tell you, I live in Conway, Mass. It's a small town, really hilly in the Berkshires. And they came in and they took the top of one of the hills and they cut it right off. And it looks like a gravel pit. And they ground all the trees up, and it's all solar panels. So a lot of beautiful areas I thought would be protected are not anymore. So because of the way we're living today, the environment is really, really suffering. I've brought several different birds in to show you, but before I show them, I wanted to show this. I spent 38 years as a state game warden. Today they call it environmental police. And my son works with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And he works on a lot of different things. And I put this together. It says extinction on the top. It just shows what we're doing to wildlife today. This little box right here in that little jar, that's rhinoceros horn ground up into a pill. Right here, same thing with tiger bone. Tiger bone made into a bandage. And this blue can is pretty interesting. It says Russian caviar. Boys and girls, fish eggs. But it's not Russian caviar, it's American paddlefish. Killed, stripped of its eggs, put in these cans and put it on the market as Russian caviar. Right here, elephant tusk. In the middle, there's a tooth of a pygmy crocodile, which is endangered. And that big foot on the bottom, that's from a harpy eagle. Someone took it as a trophy. And the top, a comb and soap made from turtles. You know, most people don't realize that even feathers of birds of prey are protected by law. The only people, well, who are the only people that can possess eagle feathers? Anyone know? Native Americans, exactly. And I just happen to have a couple of beautiful fans made with juvenile bald eagle tail feathers. So Native Americans, because of their heritage, they can't keep eagle, hawk, owl feathers. Okay. How about some real interesting birds today?
Yeah!
You know, you guys always amaze me. When I go to a school, they always say to me, open up the big box first. And someday I'm going to come to a school, one of you boys and girls, and I'm going to put a little sparrow inside that big box. Because everybody thinks there's a big bird in there. I might fool you. It might be this big. You might just need a little more room to fly around in there.
Or maybe the big one's in the little.
That's right. It could be in a little box. Speaking of a little box, probably one of the prettiest of all the birds of prey. Hey, little guy. Does anyone know what this is?
It's an American kestrel.
Very good. You even got the American in. All right, I'm not going to fool you. Male or female?
Don't know. Take a guess.
Take a guess.
Your gut telling you.
The male has gray wings, and the female has brown wings.
No.
So as he said, it's the American Kestrel, smallest New England falcon, and unfortunately, this bird is on the state threatened list because of habitat loss. Out in the western part of the state, in the Connecticut Valley, they're putting out boxes for this bird because they're a cavity nester. They like to go like a bluebird. They go into a box to lay their eggs. But probably one of the prettiest of all the raptors. You boys and girls notice that little black line under his eye? You watch the Patriots, watch the Red Sox, they all do the same thing. That black under the eye.
Can I touch it?
Well, sometimes I let people touch them just to feel what the feathers are, but the worst thing you can do to a bird is rub the feathers. You know why? He has special oil on his feathers. And when it rains, he's waterproof. So if I let everybody do this, it'll rub all that beautiful oil off his feathers, and when it rains, what do you think's going to happen? It's going to get wet, right?
Be able to fly.
That's right, you won't be able to fly right. The Kestrel is a falcon, long pointed wings for speed, and this bird can actually stop in midair like a helicopter and hover. And when it spots a mouse or a grasshopper, one of its favorite foods, it'll drop down and catch its prey. Yes.
Can it fly?
Well, he can fly a little bit, but he has an injured wing. His wing has been injured. Hi, how are you?
So cute.
Ain't he cute?
I love it. Lena, get back down. Can I touch your feather?
You just look at him. Just look at him. I don't know. So that's called, when I was your age, you know what we called this bird? A sparrowhawk. A sparrowhawk. Today it's called a kestrel. Okay, look at that tail. That's one of the field characteristics. When he's sitting on a wire telephone line, his tail always goes back and forth. It bobs back and forth. You're going to get too close, you know what's going to happen? He's going to poop on you. That's right.
Stay away, everybody. Stay away from the bun. Stay away, everybody. There's gonna be a poop gun.
I don't know. Largest falcon. The peregrine. A real success story. This bird is the epitome of what a bird should look like. Let's see if he's going to be. You going to come out? Well, hello. Hello. This is a peregrine. And boy, look at this bird. He's built like an athlete. He's not big and fluffy looking. He's streamlined. Long pointed wings. He's always doing that. He's exercising constantly. But listen, here's what happened to this species of bird. Years ago, we were spraying toxic DDT on planet Earth. The peregrine and the bald eagle, the national bird, were the ones that were affected. The farmer sprayed his crops to get rid of the insects. The birds came along, ate the insects, and the falcon came in and ate the birds. No one ate the falcon. He's top of the food chain. So eventually, the birds started to disappear. Once we stopped spraying pesticide, the falcon is coming back. So it's called the Peregrine Falcon. How fast do you think he can fly? How fast? Fast as a race car.
I want to see him fly. 200 miles?
At least 200. Whoop. Oh, almost got you. At least 200 miles an hour when they're chasing their prey. All right.
How did he get injured?
He has an injured eye. They're molting their feathers now. They're losing their feathers, getting all new feathers. All right.
Make it fly
Your favorite bird? Oh, here he is. Here he is. You come over when I'm done after you get a real good peek at him, okay? What do you call his claws? Talons. And why does he have a hooked beak?
To grab on.
Yeah, rip flesh, tear flesh. This guy is strictly a bird hunter. And unfortunately, a lot of the areas that this bird used to nest in are gone. So this bird's nesting in the cities. Boston, Springfield, Worcester have nesting peregrines. You're going to have to sit when I take that eagle out or I won't take him out. Right, see? He even said so. Does anyone know what happens when a bird of prey, a raptor, swallows its food? What happens?
He rips off the meat.
Yeah, what happens? Swallows it.
He swallows it and digests it.
And digests it and?
Nothing, just moves.
They barf it out in the form of a pellet.
I like that, buffs it out. That's good. Spits it out in the form of a pellet. And the pellet is real important to the health of the bird. If I fed that peregrine hamburger or chicken meat or beef in a week or two, you'd notice he doesn't look very well. He's going to get sick. The pellet not only gets rid of the food the bird can't digest, feathers, fur, and bones, it keeps his digestive tract clean. So when he spits out that pellet or buffs it up, you pick it up and it feels just like grease. Takes all the sediment out of his system. Now remember what that peregrine looked like. Now watch I'm going to show you another bird and you'll see a big, big difference. Let's see. Hey, big guy. An owl? An owl?
It's an eagle!
An eagle? Look at his tail. What is it?
It's an owl.
A red-tailed hawk. Largest New England hawk, the red-tailed hawk. And boys and girls, this is a boy, a male. If the female was sitting on my hand right next to him, the way you tell them apart, the female is bigger. Hawks, eagles, and owls, the female is always bigger. But look at the difference compared to the peregrine. He's big and heavy, big, broad wings for soaring. So he doesn't chase birds. He sits in a tree. And when a mouse or a rabbit or a squirrel goes hopping by, he just drops right down and captures his prey. You know, the old days, the farmer used to call this bird a chicken hawk because they like to raid the chicken yards. And today, we're all health conscious. We don't keep chickens in coops anymore. We have free-range chickens. This guy loves it. Loves it. I get so many calls from people. I had 10 chickens, I let them out, and it came back, and there's only 7. What happened to the other few? Probably this guy, a red-tailed hawk. Red-tailed hawk, largest New England hawk. Yeah.
I had some chicken parts probably dropped by one of those.
Could
in the
be.
yard.
Could be.
And a few days ago, he swooped like right in front of me.
Oh, wow.
I think I was
So you got a chicken hawk right there. You want to see his wings? Watch his wings. Ready? Whoa!
Thing's huge. Oh, he's pretty.
So big.
Pretty?
How are you not scared? Oh. No, I'm scary. It looks kind of
Okay.
Thank you.
Last fall, I rescued a pure white red-tailed hawk. It wasn't an albino because it had black eyes. It had one red feather in its tail. And the rest of the bird was all white. Red-tailed hawk. You know, a little girl gave me a note one day. I was in a school. And this little girl, she's about maybe 10 years old. She came up to me, she pulled my sleeve, and she handed me this paper. And I looked at it. And you know what it said on the paper? It said this. It said, eyes in the front mean to hunt. Eyes on the side mean to hide. So look at a robin or a bluebird. Their eyes are over here, so they can watch for danger. This guy doesn't have to watch for danger. He looks straight forward. He's a hunter. Okay, red-tailed hawk. Good guy today. Yeah, you are.
Does he have an injured foot? Does he have an injured foot?
The what?
Does he have an injured foot? Is he injured?
Now you're going to see another. I'm going to show you another type of hawk. A big difference in this bird compared to the red tail. Let's see. He's down here.
I think the big one's bigger.
It's black.
He's black, huh?
And he's
Well,
very
let's see what color he is.
Look how pretty he is.
Hi. Hi.
Oh.
Now,
Uh-huh.
what is it?
A Harris hawk.
Hey, very good. A Harris hawk. Now look at this bird. Long tail, short wings. Why does he have short wings and a long tail?
So he can fly good?
Okay, you're getting there. You're close. Why? If you were in the forest and you were trying to run through the forest and you had your arms out, what would happen? You'd bump into the trees. A red-tailed hawk hunts in the open. The Harris hawk hunts in the heavy brush. So with the short wings and long tail, he can go through the branches, and with those long legs, he can catch his prey. So short wings, long tail gives him the ability to fly through the canopy of the forest. Watch his eye. Watch. Watch. What happened? What happened?
It flashes.
It's flashy. You know what that is? That's called a nictitating membrane. And when the bird crashes into the ground to catch an animal, that little piece of skin goes over the eye and protects the eye from injury. You hear him growling? He barks like a dog when he's angry.
Adorable.
He sure is. He sound like me when I was your age. Listen, listen. Hey, you hear him?
Oh, wow.
He's pretty.
Stand up.
Okay, what do you think?
It's
Called a Harris hawk. A Harris hawk.
His claws are so. His claws are so beautiful.
Good looking bird right there.
He's ready. You know, this guy's all,
can
he's,
tell just by the way
he's ready to spring off.
Feed me. Want a mouse?
Yeah.
Great and biting. Oh, Leah!
No, his prey, birds or rodents?
Birds and rodents. Yeah. You know, let me get up here. The Harris hawk is a real interesting bird. One of the very few birds of prey that hunt in family groups. You'll see 4 or 5 of them chase a rabbit. And when one gets tired, the next one will take over. And when he gets tired, the next one will take over. And before long, they catch that rabbit. So they hunt in family packs, they call it. Family groups. And those eyes, boy, he could see, I mean, just amazing the eyesight on this bird.
He's like, he keeps his head in the same place.
What do you call this yellow part on the top of the beak?
Beak.
That's his nose. It's called a cirri. A cirri. Yep. Okay. Oh, wrong box. We don't want to put them in there. Wait.
I don't want to let a bird out now. A bird wants to come out.
He wants to come out? Yeah.
The big one.
Yeah.
Come out.
Wait till you see that bird. He's my favorite. But I want to show you a different bird now.
Open up.
Let's see. We looked at a hawk, two different types of hawks, falcons. What else? What am I missing? What am I missing? An owl.
Oh, it's an owl. Look at the owl.
It's an owl. What is it? Great horned owl. Now, most people look at this bird and they think those are his ears. They're called ear tufts. You know what they're used for? Anyone know?
No idea.
Pretty close. Camouflage. Look at that color. Watch. Here's a tree trunk. Right here. Watch this. Watch. He's going to flatten himself right against me.
Oh my God. Camouflage.
Now he puts his ears up in the air and he can stretch his body real tall. He looks like an old broken branch. So that's how owl gets away with his enemies. Like the crows don't like owls. So he hides by blending in just like this. Look at his eyes. Why does he have a flat face?
For hunting?
For hunting, but why?
Because he has flat eyes. We can turn it. Here. Press against. Instead, he can use it. Instead, when he has a flat face, it helps him blend in against trees. Because
That too.
When you have a bumpy face, because you just bonk it, or if you have flat face, you don't bonk it.
Okay, and also a flat face for this reason. His ear is right here, and when he's listening, he has real good hearing. He can move that flat face, which is called a facial disc, like this, to pick up sound. And boys and girls, if you look at his face, that looks like whiskers. Doesn't look like feathers, looks like whiskers right here. Look at his head. Look at how far he could turn that head around. All the way around. The owl has real soft feathers. Does anyone know why? Soft feathers.
So they can cushion their sound, and so
They can what?
sneak up on their prey by cushioning the sound.
Reduce the sound. Silent flight. The feathers on his bird are so soft, when he flies, doesn't make one sound. And this guy's a real hunter. Let me tell you, they call this bird the tiger of the air because he'll eat anything from a house cat to a cricket. And his favorite meal, believe it or not, skunks. Love skunks. I've picked up a lot of these birds that reeked of skunk spray because they caught a skunk. Look at the face. What a face.
What do owls
You love owls? Who? Touch his tail. Touch his tail.
It's cute.
Oh, man.
Look at those eyes.
He bites, but he doesn't bite too hard. I used to have 5 fingers. Look at 3 left. You can touch him. I'm only kidding. Feel
We have
soft?
2 kitties and they bite us all the time.
What's that?
We have 2 kitties and they bite us all the time.
Oh. Yeah.
Aren't owls nocturnal?
Good. I'm gonna say something when I get up there. That's good.
How is it awake?
He can see just as good right now. They hunt in the day. In fact, right now we call this owl hunting time, just at dusk. They like to hunt. Now, if this bird had babies in a nest, They hunt 24 hours a day to feed those young, day and night.
These are my favorite.
What's that?
Owls are my favorite.
Oh, they're great.
Oh my God, it's beautiful. So soft.
Good looking bird.
Oh, that
Yeah, they are. They're pretty. Sure.
That is so
Big eyes.
very big eyes.
You know, like,
Get her, it's
oh,
get her
come
look
over.
at her.
Come over after you can put them on your hand.
What's that?
Sure. Come over, and when I'm done, you put the glove on, you put them on your hand.
Okay.
Very cool.
I did it.
Turn his head.
Now, my friend in the back said, I thought owls are nocturnal. He should be sleeping now. Do you guys think this owl can see okay right now? Of course he can. He's got eyes. Of course he can. He can see just as good in the daytime as he can at night. In fact, if it's a very dark night, sometimes the owls can't maneuver very well, and they rely on hearing as well as eyesight. So they can see very well in the daytime and nighttime. Okay? Great horned, hey, owl. This poor bird was found, and he was so light in weight. He weighs about 3 pounds now. He weighed a little over a pound, but he was so light, and it was in the dead of winter, and he got frostbite on the tips of his wings. So the veterinarian that helps, he had to amputate the tips of both wings off this bird. So of course he couldn't be released back to the wild.
Average size?
Yeah, it's the average size. Yeah, females are much bigger. Yeah, much bigger. Now, don't forget, I mentioned the young boy up there, when they're feeding their young, they'll hunt 24 hours a day. And actually, the great horned owl is the earliest nesting bird in New England. They've got eggs in the nest in early January. So they nest very, very early. Good guy. Oh.
Is it time for the big ball?
The big box. But I have to show you my favorite bird. And this bird is so pretty, you guys are going to be amazed how beautiful this bird is beautiful.
Peacock.
You ready? It's prettier than a peacock.
And here, and a peacock is so pretty.
Whoa!
Turkey vulture. Turkey vulture.
Look at that face. Isn't he beautiful?
Turkey vulture. It's scary. It's a turkey vulture.
There's an old expression, a face only a mother could love. And here he is. But this guy is unbelievable. What I like about the turkey vulture, he's perfectly adapted to the environment. He's a scavenger. He just eats dead things. And if you look at this bird, everything about him is because he's a scavenger. Why does he have a featherless head?
Because he's a bull.
Because when he's eating carcasses, he doesn't want to, the carcasses might have disease.
That, you're right. He sticks his head right into his food. Pretty messy. Pretty messy. So that featherless head keeps him nice and clean. And when I walk around, look at his nostrils. I can look right through. Excellent sense of smell. Hey, ready to go home? Huh? Ready to go home? Now, boys and girls, I'm gonna ask you a question. And mothers and fathers, I apologize. But the question I'm going to ask is this. How does the turkey keep cool? The turkey vulture. How does he keep cool? If there's no water around, how does he keep cool? You ready for this?
Yeah.
Here we go.
It might be in the animals if it eats any.
Nope, not in the animals. You ready for this? He poops on his legs. See his legs look all white? His poop runs down his legs. It keeps him cool. And if you see a bird in the when you see a bird up in the sky flying, always remember, what's the first letter in the word vulture?
V.
When a turkey vulture flies, he holds his wings in a V, called a diagonal. A hawk straight out, turkey vulture in a V. You know, they talk a lot about climate change. We've got another vulture in New England. You see it when you go to Florida, Georgia. That bird is up here in New England. The southern black vulture is here in New England now. Yeah, he's a beautiful. He's pretty. He really is pretty.
Too bad it has an ugly head. Very appropriate.
Whoa!
Yes, you are.
What did she say?
The Diet Coke is coming.
Oh. See his nostrils, how you can look right through them?
Oh, yeah. I've seen a lot of those up in the air.
Oh my gosh, they're real common in New England.
His wings are huge.
Oh yeah, he's attractive, all right.
If it was sunny, he'd just sit like this. They love the sun.
That's so cool.
Oh, turn around.
Oh, just fit.
Very cool.
Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? When the turkey vulture.
The turkey vulture has a real good defense mechanism. When they find a dead animal, they gorge themselves, which means they eat as much as they can eat. Now, if an animal comes along and tries to hurt this turkey vulture, he can't get off the ground. He's got so much food in his belly. So he has a method of getting off the ground. And you know what he does? He regurgitates, or as he said, he boffs up everything. It comes up. And sometimes when I'm like this, he decides to, hey.
That's great. Hey, I want to go back to my cage. He's the last one. I don't like these people. I don't like these. Guess what? I'm a vulture. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? I want to go. It's time. It's really time.
I'm not going to walk around with this bird. He's too heavy. But let me show you. I brought a golden eagle to show you. And take a look at him. You know, it's a nice evening. So when I'm done here in a few minutes, especially the boys and girls, if you want to come up and see the birds close, you want to take a look at a special one, we can do that too. Okay? All right. Let's see what I got in that big box. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Whoa, there he is. There he is. Now look at this beautiful ball. Okay, listen. You got to sit down. You know, when I'm handling a bird like this, you have to be very careful. He's got big claws, okay, big talons. If you look at the color of this bird in the back of his head, that beautiful golden color gives the bird its name, golden eagle. Unfortunately, about 5 years ago, I received a call, and they said it was a juvenile bald eagle on the ground with a broken wing. It turned out it was a golden eagle, which are pretty rare in New England, but you'll notice the wing Right there, it doesn't open. It's permanently fused together. And sometimes what happens when the bird is on the ground, they're not found for several days or sometimes several weeks, and the bone starts to heal. And that's what happened to this bird. So rather than try to break the wing and reset it, the veterinarian thought, we'll just leave it alone. And he does fine. He's about 8 years old now. I've had him about 5 years. So he's doing really well. The only place we find golden eagles today are up in Canada and some of the western states. That's about it. So he's gone from New England. What's that? Well, what happened was he was migrating through, and he hit a power line. It was found, some hikers found it with the wing shattered like that.
What if he gets out?
If he gets out, well, you're the closest one. You're the closest one, so be prepared.
I'm fast. I can't fly though.
He's about 12 pounds. They're not very heavy for the size of the bird. Of course, the bones are hollow, makes them buoyant so they can fly well. But compared to the American bald eagle, this bird's the real hunter of the two. The bald eagle's more of a fish eater, and this guy's a hunter, just like the Peregrine Falcon. Same thing. Yeah.
Which one's bigger, a bald eagle or
Good question. Which one's bigger, the bald or the golden? They're about the same, but the bald eagle is like a red tail, kind of fluffy looking. And the golden eagle is like a peregrine, tight to the body. So when you look at them side by side, sometimes the bald eagle looks bigger because he's fluffier. But they're about the same size. Any other questions at all?
I want to see him up close.
Well, we can do that too.
Also, I like that. No, I like
Yeah, falconry is very limited though. Not many people that practice it. Yeah.
What does he eat?
Any other questions at all?
What does he eat?
What does he eat? Well, in the wild, rabbits and large prey. So I feed him quail, rats, and different things like that. You know, when the postal guy, when the UPS guy comes to my house, he says, I love coming here. I never know what I'm going to be delivering. 5,000 rats or whatever. You know, if I can leave you with one thought, especially in the springtime, you know, we as a society do not know how to interact with young wildlife. And most people find a young bird, a young animal, the first thing they do, pick it up and take it home. And then call someone for help. If you see a bird on the ground, a young bird, the best advice, if you care, leave it there, period. Don't pick it up, don't touch it. Now, a lot of people say, well, if I pick a bird up and I put my scent, my smell on that bird, mom and dad are going to reject it. Not true. Not with birds. Birds do not have a good sense of smell. So if you had a nest close, you could put it back in a nest or get it off the road. But if it was a little rabbit or a squirrel, a raccoon, and you pick it up and handle it, mom and dad are going to smell your hands and they're going to stay away. So if you see a young bird, a young animal, the best advice is leave it alone. How many people have a cat at home?
Me.
Hey, cats, my favorite animal.
My two kids.
Cats. You know, you have a big responsibility when you have a cat because cats are one of the very few hunters that just hunt for fun. They destroy a lot of songbirds. Okay? All right, any other questions at all? I'm going to be here for a while. I keep saying the kids, but the adults too. If you want to see the birds again, just come up and I'll be glad to take them out for you. Yeah, huh?
I like to go up and see all the birds.
Worst injury, wow. Fish hooks. Fish hooks. Bald eagles with fish hooks down their throat. All sorts of things like that. Automobiles. You drive down the highway with your parents, see the hawks sitting in the trees. They know, perfect spot to hunt. If a mouse comes out of the forest, goes across the road, down they come to catch that mouse. And sometimes they get hit by cars. That happens a lot.
Like a hawk or something.
Yeah, sometimes it happens. They go right into the car. But I've seen all sorts of things. And another thing you can avoid to protect wildlife is don't use any of this roticide. You could buy it at Walmart for destroying mice and rats. That stuff's deadly to wildlife. You set it out, the mice eat it, they go out and they look for water. That activates that poison. The hawks come along, the owls, they catch that mouse, and they die. So that pest, I don't know how they could sell it in some of these department stores, but they do. Okay, I'm going to be here, as I said, for a while. Just come on up and show you the birds again. Thank you. And I enjoyed your town. Which one do you want to see? Yeah, you can look at it. You can look at it. Just don't go too close.
I'm just a little bit scared.
Don't go too close. Stay right close like that.
What's his name? What's in this box again?
That was the Harris hawk.
I love it. Remember the one that you I want to see all the McKenna.
Well, let's take the owl out. Let me take the owl out.
Yeah.
Excuse me, huh?